Hello, welcome everyone. We don't have a title, and all of the promotions refuse to book us because we are absolutely green workers. I'm,
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm Frank,
I'm Alex.
and we're currently working on getting a title. Okay, so today, uh, we're mainly going to talk about AEW because I'm going to be perfectly honest, I'm not a journalist, and I watch AEW in the background. I don't read any of the dirt sheets, don't follow anyone on Twitter, or check Twitter for that matter.
Hmm.
I'll be Alex.
But hey, man, I wouldn't call myself a journalist either, but I do follow a lot of wrestling promotions. I don't know. It's good to see different talent, in different areas because it keeps the fan alive rather than watching one promotion and expecting to
Oh yeah,
hear from one
definitely.
from that one place. So yeah, it's good to watch many places, and AEW being
I
one
mean,
of
you're a
the
little bit
newest things to
spoiled.
come out.
You're a little bit
Mhm.
spoiled for choice over there.
Yes, yes, yes. I've got my connection to many networks, so it's great that I get to pick out and watch what I want to watch. And yeah, it's plenty to see, plenty to learn from. Great. So
Yeah.
with AEW, for you, Frank, what let's see, with the new promotion as it has come out, how do you see it going, and what are parts that you take out of it, if even at least from uh the most recent pay per view, say AEW Revolution leading up to its current Dynamite.
Yeah, to be honest, sure, it's a little bit more, I guess, quote unquote, indie with a bunch of unnecessary flips and everything, which, in my opinion, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with flips. The main thing really is just some sort of consistent storyline. And I've been watching WWE for since, what was it, 2015 or something like that? Like, I kind
Oh,
of
okay.
Yeah, not a sort of a long time old school fan or whatever. Just, my friends watching it. Sure, this looks dumb and I like it. I mean, pay per view after pay per view, storyline after stopped storyline, and a whole bunch of weird decisions, so on. And I basically stopped watching WWE in favor of AEW and NXT by extension because they moved NXT to Wednesdays to try to compete with AEW.
Right, right. Although in saying that, around the beginning of April, that's now going to be moving to Tuesday nights. So if you're still wanting to watch NXT, you can still watch it on the two different days. So that's one
Yeah,
thing
I mean,
there.
there's also the WWE Network, and geez Louise, that's another topic. Just all of these streaming services. First and foremost, that trios team involving Maki Ito.
Right, right. Maki Ito, the Fired Idol. It's great to see that she's getting some, television time or even exposure in in the US space. Great. I mean, she's been doing well. She's had one of the best storylines that I've seen so far, in Japan, and bringing her over, uh, even as a comic relief type character, she can still really put on a performance, which she did. I guess even in last night's, well, was it last night's or the other night's Dynamite?
Wednesdays.
Yeah,
We're in
Wednesday's
different,
Dynamite.
yeah, we're in different time zones, and it's kind of hard for us to keep track.
Right, right.
Whose turn is
So
it to have a Friday now?
I can't tell anymore. Her beginning or origin story, right, which led her into DDT, into the sister promotion, where she had, I guess, the beginning to the current era of the Ito respect army, um, and also the war between her and the magical girl Yuka Sakazaki, who's still currently signed to AEW at the moment. But let's see, they've apart from the past tournament that they've had, which is great to see that they're now bringing more stars over.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
um, leading to their, I guess the most recent, they had let's see, a trios match, right? Uh, where I mean, the thing with Maki is that she's amazing, she's entertaining, she's cringe at the same time, but she can get a reaction.
Yeah,
And
she's kind of like an every woman sort of thing.
exactly.
She's not a super. She's precisely not a superhero. I mean, it gets kind of like Orange Cassidy, who just does the minimal effort and never can relate to that.
Right. Well, I mean, that is, I mean, one that particular character is pretty unique. Is in the whole wrestling scene because a lot of it's about you work hard, you pay your dues, you do your you climb the ladder, you grab the brass ring, so to speak, which was the theme of their last pay per view.
Yeah,
But we've got Orange Cassidy, who's just kind of yeah, whatever. You know, minimal effort in terms of let's see whether it's him either involved in a storyline or when he's cutting a quote unquote promo or even so much as how he interacts with the other stars outside of the promotion, which is amazing because the fact that he can do something at that level, that when he starts a reaction, even a small reaction that will be on the same level as everybody else,
yeah,
it will be that would actually speak a lot more volumes because they're so used to this baseline of minimal effort,
yeah.
where a little bit effort will mean something.
This dude can totally fly.
Mm,
Yeah, I mean,
he really can.
yeah, massive. Yeah, nothing but big respect. Speaking about getting reactions, let's move on to this new tag team that's formed between Moxley and Eddie Kingston. And
Ah,
yep, with the last pay-per-view ending. And if this is spoiling it for you, I don't know what to say. We recorded this a week after it's aired, and it's probably going to be uploaded a year afterwards. So I don't know what to tell you. Um, so basically, Eddie Kingston ran in the last minute to shield Moxley from the ring explosion of the exploding in barbed wire death match, which is ended up just being like some sparklers. I'm guessing mainly for insurance reasons. Kenny Omega doesn't want to pay the extra insurance for actual having actual explosives there, and Eddie Kingston, true to everyone's expectations, managed to sell the fact that he wanted to save his brother, and Don and Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers have completely embarrassed him. You know,
I
at the start of that promo, Moxley was just sitting on the side with sunglasses, and I was wondering if they're going to do like a Weekend at Bernie's kind of dealy.
I mean, it was
Well,
definitely a great promo. I mean,
yeah,
it's good to see that they've pulled him out of what AEW Dark. I mean, AEW Dark still great. Still has a lot of you know, a lot of draw power and does feature a lot. But it's good to see that they pulled him out of there and used him in the storyline
oh
because
yeah,
he's great on the
definitely,
mic. He's great
definitely.
on the mic, and he's proven it now. And I'm excited to see what him and Moxley are gonna do. You know, coming up and when it comes into the let's see if it even leads into title pictures because I mean AEW is probably the most dense and densely packed, and when it comes to tag team, tag team wrestling.
Yeah, I think it's
Um,
part of it is just talent utilization, and also part of it is sort of old school protection of
that is
yeah. So if Moxley's teaming with Eddie Kingston can take the pin.
that is true. That is true. But I hope they don't because he does like Eddie Kingston does have a lot of draw power. He
I'm
does have a lot of draw power of his own. Aside, Moxley's got more because
WWE.
he's yeah WWE and he's had his fan base following him since CZW.
Yeah,
Um, so he's got that whole traction that their whole line of exposure and fans for him from the since. But we should have knocked back, or they should have knocked back Eddie Edwards because he hasn't had that same level of exposure. He's still got the talent. He just needs the ability to or the opportunity to put himself out there more.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like that's kind of the case because his previous crew, the Butcher and the Blade, but I love their ring entrance where the Butcher just sort of
Yeah.
squad walks around the Blade. And I guess now Bunny is there. I mean, granted, she wasn't really there in the Indies when I first saw them. Uh, yeah. It seems like he's extricated. They've separated those two, so he's sort of in a solo act right now. Well, solo act with
Yeah.
Moxley, but
But he's still his own person. Um,
well, yeah,
he's
he's
not.
definitely
Yeah.
moved away from the managerial role.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, speaking of the Butcher and the Blade, they've now joined forces with Matt Hardy.
Yep.
What is up with that? Why?
I mean, those guys from the beginning have always been sort of painted as mercenaries. You know, if you
That
want
is
someone taken
true.
care of, you go to this meat processing warehouse or whatever, and you hand him an envelope, and these two butchers and and another person and this other woman who's just hanging around, just immediately changing into ring costume and go out down the town murdering.
I guess so.
They're supposed to be
But
contract killers, I guess.
well, I mean, if you put it that way, then that makes a lot more sense. Just when I was watching, I was thinking, I'm not too sure where they're going with this.
Yeah, and I mean,
uh,
MJF hired them. They've, ba- I think they were with Ray Phoenix and Pentagon and LZRM.
that's
Uh,
true. That's
for
true.
some reason, I think it's mainly because they both hate the revival. And then
Mm,
Pac came back, and those guys were basically separated. Pentagon and El Phoenix back to Death Triangle with Pac, and
mm.
Butch and a Blade, and the Bunny basically back with Eddie Kingston. Especially after Eddie Kingston managed to get Blade's girl back.
Mm. I mean, like with the, let's see, with these recent changes, because I mean, there's been a lot of changes since the last episode. Um, aside from Eddie Kingston, now separating himself from Mercenaries or from the managerial role and joining in Moxley, the Butcher and Blade have joined uh, Private Party with Matt Hardy, and then there's also there's a new faction that's just been made as well. Whereas let's see, I don't know if they've got a name for it yet. I haven't heard or seen anything yet. But NJF, right, split
Yeah,
off from Inner Circle, uh, with I guess like a fake takeover leading to a introduction of a new faction, which is
which is
interesting.
it was basically just MJF and Tully Blanchard and company.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, I heard
Uh,
Blanchard doesn't do anything too crazy.
Tully Blanchard is great, and let me tell you that uh oh, hold up, monitor's bugging out.
Uh,
I need to like turn off monitor sleep function. That's basically what's going on and partial the age of it. Anyways, so Tully Blanchard is the exactly type of person I want to be when I'm his age, dressing very fresh.
Very fresh.
Look at him,
Yes, but today's, I mean, I agree with like the jacket,
the
what do
tailored
you call it?
pants, the
Yeah,
fact that he's
yeah,
keeping
but
well enough shape that he doesn't have a giant gut like Arn Anderson.
or Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake, it fits for Jake the Snake because he's supposed to look as sleazy and greasy as all hell.
Oh, he's always been sleazy and greasy from day one.
It works perfect for Jake the Snake.
Mm.
Look, if I end up at either Tully Blanchard or Jake the Snake, I'm fine. I'm perfectly happy. It's in the middle when
Mm.
I'm a little bit worried.
I wonder where they headed with that, with because with with the Blanchards being involved in both AEW and Impact, probably because of Don Callis. But I wonder if there's going to be any more connections between the two that would
Oh yeah,
either
Tessa
lead
Blanchard.
to, yeah, was Tessa. Well, I'm not too sure if she's still
Yeah, I was
doing.
actually come to think of it. Did she basically got booted out of the company?
Oh, yeah, she did. Right. Yeah, she did. Oh, what a shame. And who knows if she'll be able to come back into the industry.
Yeah, I
Um,
forgot exact reasons, but if I remember correctly, she was being a total piece.
was it leading to? Was it because of the whole movement that happened a couple of months back? I guess the one thing that stopped Joey Ryan from being signed to AEW because he was on Joey Ryan or Joey Janela.
Joy, you're thinking of Joy Ryan.
Yeah, Joey Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah. With Tessa Blanchard, I
Is
think it's for hate essentially.
mm,
Anyways,
wow. That's
I don't know. You keeping track of Impact?
keeping track of Impact. I've seen bits and pieces there, which is let's see. There hasn't well, I haven't seen any title changes recently. Um, it's been fairly stagnant, mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, I guess that's because of the whole viewership. It's not really picking up, so it feels like they're just kind of trugging along until they pick up enough viewership to make some actual changes. Um, which is a bit sad, really. I mean, you see a lot of this stuff released for free on YouTube to watch.
Yeah.
Over time, it's mostly taped, and even though regardless of COVID, they struggle to pull in an audience.
Yeah,
So
they kind of have
mm,
a rough history, I guess.
they have had a rough history, probably due to Hulk Hogan. That's probably the one thing in the works that really ruined them. Um, yeah, I mean they were a booming company, but sadly they've died out. AEW is now the one that's taking the leadership and being a competing brand. Just hope they don't end up the
Yeah,
same.
AEW just
Yeah.
catapulted right out there because all of the other promotions have been there, but just didn't exactly pick up any sort of momentum. Like Arena of Honor, for example, it just
Ah,
languished.
yeah.
Yeah, you forgot about Ring of Honor, didn't you?
No, it was more. Let's see, was the AEW? I think the one thing that really catapulted it was, um, let's see, their YouTube channel,
Hmm.
right? Being the Elite, where it's from the very beginning. This was back when the Bullet Club was still, I guess, faction between the US and Japan,
Yeah,
or before the initial split and Civil War. Um, they've been documenting, day to day of, and of course having a bit of fun with it, just putting a little bit of a soap opera. But they've been hinting at the idea of creating a show of your own. Uh, so if you're watching from the very first episode, you see this progression of them slowly growing into something of their own, and from when they gathered like enough of an audience on their YouTube channel, that's when they released that AEW was going to be a thing. And then leading up to what the first pay per view, All In.
yeah.
Oh, that was crazy. That was
A little bit tight on
WCW
time,
style.
especially with towards the last match. But yeah,
Oh
it
yeah, it
was fun.
was. Mm.
Well, we both know how it came about, but how do you feel about it, Alex?
About AEW,
You think this is
I
a podcast? It's actually a ruse. This is actually therapy.
oh, no, I don't know. The curtains are blue, the lights are red. I don't know. I keep seeing
The walls over here are
dark shadows in
blue,
the corner.
dude.
But it's, I mean, hey, with AEW and it's as it from where it was, where it jumped off to now, they haven't missed a beat, which is great. They have missed out on the explosives, but they haven't missed a beat. Uh, which I think they're at least with the explosives in the most recent pay per view, they've been I guess they've been taking in their stride and using it to build their storyline, which is smart,
Yeah, I mean,
professional.
it's not the '90s anymore. You
I
can't
don't
just
know.
throw in chairs with lit firecrackers at people's heads anymore.
Uh-huh. Right, right. It's because
And those
you
firecrackers,
do that.
they individually wrapped in barbed wire.
I mean, I feel like their own pyro at the beginning of the stage was more explosive than the
I
actual
think
explosion.
yeah, I think it's very much an insurance thing because like WWE didn't do pyro for a very long while, and so one of the theories
Ah,
is that just the insurance rates was too high.
fair enough, fair enough. Are you thinking with like a network called TNT, they might want to see a bit of explosion or a bit more than that.
I mean, with a name like Dynamite, if you don't deliver,
Yeah, I know, right? TNT and Dynamite. Oh, they're just asking for a big explosion. So I guess that's why that was a big letdown for most people.
I
Um,
mean,
but
since they're just one place, like hey, here's something to think about. AEW has some more episodes filmed at the Daily's place, and then they've had like touring, and it was initially intended as a touring show.
right, right. I mean, it's that. I mean, that was the thing with Impact, right? Like they had their own set place, their
Yeah,
set arena, and then they started touring, and that's when the money started draining. Well, aside from paying WWE retirees, uh, so
exorbitant
like
rates.
oh, it was so much. It was I heard from what I've seen, it was much more than what the WWE were paying their legends. So that was
Jesus,
crazy.
and I thought the
Um,
WWE was treating their old guys a little bit too well.
oh no, you thought that? I mean, well, because Impact tried to be the next WCW, spin
Right,
first,
right,
ask
right.
questions later. Um, yeah, which I mean, hey, there's nothing wrong with WCW. It was a great promotion, but the storylines were a bit out there. The talent was oversaturated. But yeah, money is a thing. Money doesn't grow on trees. That's a good lesson for them to
Yeah.
learn. Um, although with AEW's recent signees, it's starting. People are getting a bit worried. From what I've seen, or even I'm getting a bit worried. Now, what is going to happen with AEW if they keep this up?
So far, I mean, first off, I'm surprised you're not mentioning the fact that they just signed a bunch of former Lucha Underground stars. Didn't talk about any of that, huh?
Lucha Underground,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
they're
but
just skyrocketing to the top. Doing a little bit too much for the promotion, I say.
well, I mean, is Lucha Underground still around
Nope.
anymore? Yeah, I thought so. That's
That's a
what I
joke.
thought. That's probably why.
That's the joke, mate. Uh, yeah,
Because I
speaking about all
mean,
the
there
things
was
that AEW is doing different, this
yeah,
whole like lights out match. First off, this lights
uh,
out concept it was only really a thing I've seen in the indies, where they could like literally flicker the lights for a hot second. Especially considering that they don't really. I mean, they do have a set schedule, but they have the venue for like a bit longer than the showtime. So they can clean up and all that stuff,
yeah,
flex time, all that. Whereas on television or what have you, it's been just some set schedule. Actually,
mm,
NXT did a lights out match if I remember correctly. I forget between whom. Oh yeah, no, it was Gargano and Champa. Um,
uh,
yeah. I mean that one
well,
was just a broiling blood feud. But
yeah,
this upcoming match between Britt Baker and the Thunder Rosa, two people you don't really associate for, I guess, barbed wire. But I guess they do really hate each other.
right. I mean, I, I like the idea that Thunderbirds is getting a lot of exposure here. Most people most promotions would have relegated her to the mid card and they'll be stuck there forever. And
I mean,
mid card for
that's kind of what
yeah,
happened to Pentagon before Lucha Underground. He was a mid
yeah,
carder until they turned into like an arm breaking Mortal Kombat ninja.
right, yeah. He's like a couple of colors away from being Scorpion. Uh,
I mean,
Although it's interesting that he's now. It seems like he's now going for. Let's see. He's now trying to go for more singles. Runs of his own.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, I guess since they have a
well,
little bit more flexibility, that they don't have to be booked as a package with his brother.
I mean, well, because I mean, Ray Phoenix is already great on his own. Always entertaining. Uh, but it's like
Ray
because they've
Phoenix,
already
Ray
they've already
Phoenix will
done
sell
this.
death. Pentagon, it will just shoot out like a missile.
Like I mean, they've already tried it in Impact, right?
Yeah.
The breaking of the group, the war between Phoenix and Pentagon. Pentagon reigned as champion, but it didn't take off.
Mm.
Uh, that's either because of Impact, or they could have been because of Pentagon. So I wonder if Pentagon's actually going to aim for the title, if this is something that he's gonna they're gonna let him do. Because if we see that he aims for the title, he captures it and becomes big, then we know it's Impact.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, then uh that might be the end of any singles run of his.
I'm sure.
Maybe the
I'm sure he. I'm
uh,
sure he'll be just fine. Yeah. Speaking about him, and we're totally off topic from Thunder Rosa. He last one, he brought a translator along with him, and he started using a bit more English. Like when he started talking on the microphone, and I actually didn't recognize his
ah
voice so for a hot second there.
yeah, he doesn't sound what he looks like, right?
That's not to say that he's kind of like a Brock Lesnar kind of situation.
Yeah, but when you look at him, you expect grit and crap.
I mean, the most one of the lines that always sticks out in my head from him, one of his catchphrases was "Mi maestro." Before he goes on in Spanish about how he's breaking all these arms for his master.
Right. I mean, with like even I mean, it's one thing to see him break off of the zone. It's good to see Ray Phoenix, tag with Pac because it's an interesting combination. It works. It works. It absolutely
I
works
mean,
because they're both high flyers.
the idea of Death Triangle, the name, come on.
And I mean, like Pac makes a great replacement for Pentagon. Like it's almost Pentagon without the mask.
Yeah, in a way.
So
Uh,
let's see. I mean, with like the next upcoming match with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, I I wonder how what they're gonna aim with. What the aim is with that, right?
I think
If
part of
they're
the reason for a lights out match is they're probably going to protect Britt Baker essentially by having Reba or Rebel, whatever her name is.
right,
It's not
N-
clear. Uh, Running
Rebel,
with like
not
some
Rebel.
assistant, either with crutches or what have you. And Thunder
Ah,
Rosa basically putting Britt Baker through an increasing in number of tables.
mm,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's my
yeah,
thoughts on how this match is going to go essentially. Because Britt Baker is one of the top heels. Um, Especially the fact that she can insult an audience in 10 seconds flat.
she is a great heel.
Eh,
Yes,
And, and the crazy thing too is that I don't think she has to rely on sport references either to get nuclear heat.
no, no, she doesn't. But I'm from even looking at the women's division, it feels like it's almost mostly heel, which is when you have heel against heel, uh, you know, you don't know you don't know who to root for half the time. Um,
Uh, Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if anyone's really injured because uh, oh my god, this is embarrassing. I'm forgetting all of these wrestlers' names.
is Riho still injured?
No, Riho is
Yeah.
still around. I think the main issue for her really is residency in a way.
Okay.
Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander is still injured from last I've heard.
Ah, right, right.
Uh, Ali basically is a heel to be with her husband, the Blade. Uh, actually, Dark Order's a face organization now.
You're a fit. Yeah, of course, because
Yeah, they
yeah,
have
that was
one. Uh, well, I haven't been watching Beyond Elite. It's apparently really good. I haven't watched it much, but they do have a female wrestler on their roster. So I think they're still working on building her, basically getting ready for her debut. Um, Big
yeah.
Swole, what's going on with her?
Oh yeah, Big Swole. She's just returned from injury recently.
Just returned from injury. Okay, so she's probably doing
Yeah.
a little bit of warming up and rehabilitation.
Uh, yeah. I mean, she announced a return in it was AEW Dark
Hmm.
a couple episodes back. Uh, where she this was before the semifinals for the women's tournament.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so she announced a return then. So it sounds like that she's going to, because I mean, I think before she was out, I think she still held a number one contender role for the women's title, but she never got to get her chance. So maybe we'll be seeing that in the near future
And
between her and Hikaru.
the last the last female face wrestler I can think of that's not currently actively wrestling is Red Velvet.
Red Velvet. See, that's the thing. I'm forgetting the face wrestlers because we're just seeing a lot of the heel wrestlers nowadays when it comes to
No, let's be
to the women's
real.
side.
Let's be real. We see Maki Ito, and we just forget about everyone else.
Okay, I mean, is Maki a heel or is Maki a face?
She's healing at least in terms of her antics and everything, like toe stomps and
Oh,
all that stuff.
oh yeah, oh yeah, cheap shots and all.
Yeah, she's one of those
But
modern cool heels,
where it's cool to be bad.
as opposed to
Oh
like a legitimately scary heel that will murder your family.
well, I mean, everything's new to Maki, so maybe there could be something in the future for her. I hope they use her more. I hope I hope she's able to come back
They
and
know the whole reaction Maki gets, so it is she will be there more.
yeah. My worry for Maki is that the reaction isn't the same, if you know what I mean.
The
It's
ration
like
isn't the same.
the let's see, the way that people react to her isn't the same.
Oh,
Because when she gets on the stage, she's singing, she's dancing
yeah.
around. In Japan, it's just like it's almost commonplace. It's just like, oh hey, yeah, cheer her on, yay. But then, even with her entrance and and Dynamite recently, jumps on the stage. Sure, people are fighting already, but she's singing, and it's just almost dead.
Hmm.
It's almost dead. The song, the worst part is the song cuts out, and she's still singing on her own.
No, I think that
Bless
was
her for keeping.
intentional. I absolutely love that scene. I absolutely love it. So like she's not going to stop her song just because her music cut out. Meanwhile, her team
Uh,
gets beaten up. No, actually, her team is doing the beating up.
and let's see, and her it's almost like she's pulling her punches. Like she's a lot more violent. She's a lot more vicious in Japan. But like, it felt like she was trying not to hurt someone. I mean, of course, you shouldn't be hurting people. And
Yeah, she
so,
heard that all the female wrestlers were watching their carbs, so she's holding back on the potatoes.
oh, but whenever it comes to especially in the part where it came into the exchange between her and Mizunami, that's when she started to ramp it up a bit more.
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, okay, good. This
I
good.
think with
This
the
is my
real,
Peter.
I think with the real Izanami, they have a little bit more chemistry there.
That's true. That's true. Although, again, like her, I hope to see her more in the ring there. Maybe not too much with Emi Sakura, because she's running her own promotion, I
Yeah,
believe,
yeah. She's
or
also
or a
training a
training
whole
school.
bunch of wrestlers.
Yeah, so she's got a lot to do. Yuka's wanting to come back as well. Although I think her issue was the same as what Riho's going through right now, which is residency.
Yeah, especially with the whole pandemic thing going on. You're not you're not exactly have free travel nowadays.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Vanny is someone I want to see to come that I want to see to come in.
Hmm.
Well, although like because I mean even seeing her in the recent tournament, wow, just wow. You know, you there's something about the way she fights. It's just and like the I'm not even sure how to explain it. It's just like each move, each move, each hit, and
Meanwhile, while my
even
partner
each counter.
figures out what words to say, let's talk about today's sponsor. That's what the top guys
If
do.
only we had sponsors.
Uh,
If
sorry
only we
about
had a
that.
sponsor. But let's see. It's just the way she wrestles. It's unlike the other wrestlers that you see today, where it's um where it's something you whether it's a wrestler has a gimmick of about like the way they wrestle or the way they conduct themselves in the
Yeah,
ring, whether it's in the promo or whether it's in the fight. Her style is a lot more pure, but in a lot more ruthless at the same time.
I think
You
I see
know,
what you're saying.
she's not trying to show off. She's not trying to, like
Just straight to brutal
like
efficiency, kind of like I
yeah,
guess Sonata probably.
yes, yes.
I wouldn't
There's
say
nothing.
Ishii because
Yeah,
Ishii throws his weight around.
he does, and that's what got him in the Bullet Club. Um, it's with the way she conducted herself. It's like you don't lose to her because you're psyched out. You don't lose to her because you know of something about her is just a bit that's really messing with your vibe or anything.
Yeah,
You lost her because of 100% ability. So like if they can bring her into the women's division, sadly the AEW women's division is still it's getting there, but it's not there.
mm,
If they bring her in for that extra firepower, oh,
yeah.
I think the I think the one problem about bringing her is that she's too young.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think she's
this is
16.
Vinny.
Mm.
I probably got Vinny
Yeah,
confused.
she's a kid.
Uh, another person. We kind of want to mention that what's her name? May Isuruga. Uh,
Ah,
she's a,
yeah, yeah.
she's apparently a kind of like Maki Ito, where she's all smiles and everything, and but then she gets really mad and really plays really dirty. Apparently,
Ah,
actually, apparently, according to Wikipedia, Venny he is 22.
she's 22. That's still pretty young.
I mean, do you
Oh, actually, no, probably it's still. I guess. I mean, it's still at least from when she started. I think she was a lot younger. If she's like already in the scene of where she's making waves at the age of 22, then she would have had a way earlier starting point.
yeah.
Especially if it's Japanese wrestling, right? Because they do it on a you get to wrestle based on honor.
Mm,
So you would have to really like spend some time there. for a long period before you even get to do even interpromotional wrestling.
Yeah.
So she would have had a way earlier starting point.
Yeah,
But
probably
yeah,
12, I guess.
yeah,
She probably debuted in 2015. So she started at 15. Okay.
yeah.
No, 17. Did I get my math right?
Mhm. Hold on, wait, 22
Seven.
now?
Yeah, she
Okay,
was born in 98, 22 now. Yeah, it's 17.
history. Yeah, yeah. But damn, that's she's still in school. You know, who does that? Right after school, you pop over to the wrestling school and
Yeah.
start playing your trick. God damn,
And
it's yeah.
and just completely forgot about Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. They're going to kill each
Thunder.
other. Can't wait to watch it. That's all we got to say about that.
I mean, yeah, Thunder Rosa's got a long line of prestige behind her, which people are banking on for her to pull through as the face
Yeah.
character. He's going to be the face character. She let's see, with Britt Baker, uh, yeah, we're not too sure if they're gonna protect her or not. Um, I feel like they would, to
Hmm.
build up a storyline for another promotion, not a promotion, another pay per view.
Yeah.
Um, because I mean, what the next one's just the St. Patrick's show, right?
Yeah.
Not, yeah, it's not a pay per view. It's just
It's just
call
a
it a
special
special.
weekly edition.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So chances are, yeah, extend the storyline. Britt Baker wins, probably by DQ, very likely.
No, it's lights out. There's no
Oh,
DQ.
okay, all right. Then win by either a you know not
Britt
a
Baker is
clean
going to get
win.
Reba to drop one of those long carts right on top of Thunder Rosa.
This stage I want to put apart them. They've already brought in a golf cart.
That golf cart is one of the biggest stars of the whole show, really. So,
Oh, but I mean, it's a with the other addition, the other details in there. I mean, it looks like sorry, with the other parts that have come through. I mean, as you mentioned before, with the exchange of Eddie Edwards and Kenny Omega, Don Callis, and the Good Brothers, uh, Kyle Anderson, and Fake Diesel.
yeah.
Uh, it's they've also had a Christian come forth, and it looks like he's showing interest in the title. He's wanting to re-enter the picture, which is great, but it's a bit of a worry at the same time. Like
I'm sure at
one,
I'm sure at this point
yeah,
AEW has earned any sort of like has earned some leeway with some of their storyline decisions.
yeah, but it's more of again because the worry of like people coming over and taking away chances
Yeah.
from homegrown talent or a talent that's been there from the beginning. And he's walked in and they're already hinting at a storyline of him coming forward for the putting his name forward for the title. I mean, I think it's great if they use him for the purpose of building the title and title's credibility. Um, although I don't know if Kenny Omega will get anything out of beating Christian, since he's already got a long line of prestige of his own.
Or
So,
okay, so here's a wild thought. Said Christian goes in the title picture. He loses to Kenny Omega. Probably like flounders around a little bit. Like he forms a stable or joins a stable with some other wrestlers. Because one thing I've noticed a lot with AEW is that they've kind of taken the NJPW ish sort of approach, where everyone's part of a stable, and unless for like a tournament or whatever, people within the stable don't fight each other.
mm,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah, but within JPW, it's less of stable. It's more, I mean, they're stable technically, but they're more like, you could say clans
Yeah.
or because it's not like like a 3 person, a 4 person, a 5 person stable. They're whole group. It's a it's a choir and a half the time,
Yeah.
and people are constantly switching in between. So yeah, I mean, if that's what they're going for, I mean, there sounds like that is the case. With MJ's recent
Yeah, with Tully
where
Blanchard, Jake the
yeah,
Snake, Arn Anderson.
is
Um,
it Spears as well?
Sean Spears. Yeah, Sean Spears is with
Yeah,
Tully Blanchard.
yeah. And well, I mean, we all knew Wardlow was going to be with him.
Right.
He's always been with them. Um, but yeah, I mean, who knows if there's going to be a war between the two? So what they're going to have? What? Let's see, MGS stable against the inner circle. What else is there? There's going to be private party, but who knows who they're feuding with? Or Dark Order, right?
Yeah,
Because
because you're
of
both Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy hates Dark Order.
yep, and then add Anna Page to the mix. Yeah. Uh, who else is there? Well, I mean, there was a time where they were kind of hinting at bringing back the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's gonna go.
So there's
I
several
don't.
things in a way.
Yeah.
First
Mm.
off, Marty Scroll is a little bit persona non grata. You got the NJPW side, and but they kind of separated themselves from the Bullet Club that Kenny Omega and company formed. Um,
Yeah, well, because there was the whole Civil War,
yeah,
Bullet
so they're like
Club, the Elite,
yeah, so
and
they basically won out to the Bullet Club name.
yeah,
So unless if those guys shake hands and agree to beat up, I don't know, Okada or whomever, uh, that's probably going to stay separate. And AJ Styles still in WWE, still feeling comfortable.
because
Um,
what was there was a recent because there was the what who was it? It was Kenta,
yeah,
recent member of the Bullet Club who came over to AEW again, because of Moxley,
yeah.
who is he still the United States
To
champion?
be honest, I haven't been watching NJPW, even though I still have an ongoing sub to that company.
I mean, if that, I mean, because considering that he's targeting Moxley as well, that could indicate to like a potential
Oh no,
partnership. So
no, they teased that match, and that match already happened.
yeah,
Yeah, it's summer. I haven't checked NJPW World for a while. Um, I know they did a show recently. Uh,
I I mean, props to Kenta for making a comeback because boy, he was not used properly in WWE. Oh, that was
forget
horrible.
about that. What about Lince Dorado?
Oh, oh,
Uh, um, wait, am I getting the right wrestler mixed up? Because there's a situation going on at WWE that is TNA Okada levels of misuse.
oh, TNA Okada levels of misuse. That's possible.
Yeah,
It's
that's why I
WWE.
kind of stopped watching the product because it's like they break up all of the tag teams, every one of them, and I get really
Yeah,
sad every time that happens. And uh, yeah, it's not a fun TV
yeah.
show to watch.
No, I mean, because when ever since they started going down the PG route, they lost a huge fan base. They lost majority of their fan base
Yeah,
because of everything they built around, from the Attitude Era to the ruthless aggression era, and then when they jumped into the PG era, it's like everything's so out of place. So even when they have comebacks of wrestlers of old, from the past, it doesn't sit well because they're like, hey, they're coming in, with their usual thing, and it doesn't fit in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. It's not good. It's not good. But like, I'm not surprised that WWE is deceiving people, because they've always had,
Well,
and they will continue to do so.
just like the third hour of Raw, we're going on, dragging on for a little bit too long. So let's close this out. Let's go home. So, Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker, Muromaki Ito, and I should probably take a look at NJPW shows. What about you, Alex? So what you up to?
For me, yeah, I'm definitely gonna catch up on my NJPW. It's been a while. Let's see.
Did you watch last
Uh,
year's G1?
that I missed. I was working, so I
Same
couldn't.
here.
Unfortunately, it wasn't on the cards for me.
I missed out on
Um,
so many Toru Yano matches.
oh man, you and me both. And let's see. Since I've last watched, there's been so many changes within the factions that I am struggling to keep up with. So I can almost not tell who's in what stable now. I might start brushing up on Stardom and DDT again.
Hmm.
Because I mean, it's always good to find. There's always a lot of good talent there.
Yeah, I wonder who's the
Um,
current DDT heavy metalweight Iron Man champion.
yeah, I won't.
Yeah, I wonder if
Um,
Ladder retook it.
let's see. I mean, I'll give it a watch. I'll let you know soon.
All right.
But yeah,
Even though my boss hasn't called me, I should probably get back to work.
yeah, fair enough. You do that.
Uh, Geez, what's our
All
sign
right.
off?
Well, yeah, that's right. We need to sign off. So, guys, yeah, thanks for tuning in to our untitled podcast. Of course, we'll have a name soon and the whole thing around it.
Probably a
So,
logo.
yeah, yeah. So it'll be maybe a little less scuffed, still scuffed, but a little less. But again, thanks again for tuning in.
Alex is
I'm
called
Alex.
DIY. We're following DIY punk aesthetic.
That's right. That's right. A
I
little
know the
less straight
punks have
edge.
come. I know the punks have made it over there, and they're a little bit cleaner cut than the ones over here. But still,
Absolutely. All right. And let's see. Again, if you like this episode, feel free to check us out on the next one, which will
be
definitely
somewhere.
be on somewhere around.
Look, like, subscribe, whatever. Don't, whatever, man.
Yeah, man, it's up to you if you really want to if you really want to do that. But if you do, uh, sure,
Just like
we'll see
Goldberg
you in
when
the
he
next
joined
episode.
WWE, we might have a slight hope that it gets buried.
Yeah. Who's next or when's next?
I don't know.
We'll see.
Everything's up to here, folks.
All right then, and see you in the next episode.
That has been Alex, and I'm Frank. I know I love you.
Me, but a little bit less.
Okay, we probably don't love you. Bye.